right, good afternoon and good Saturday afternoon to you, everybody. My name's Harry James. This is the college football picks version of the video broadcast. We'll preview all the games, Big 12 and non-Big 12, about how I think they're going to go this week. We'll start in the Big 12 when we return. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James. We will start in the most offensive team in the league. And probably offensive because they score so many points. And to be honest, I don't know if the depth is actually going to be there. I don't know how good Kansas State's going to be, West Virginia. I don't know actually how good these guys are going to be. If they live up to the hype, it's going to be pretty fun, and Oklahoma can make a run at it. But if they stand out and they fall apart, this thing could fall apart really quickly in the Big 12 for the national picture. Anyway, outside of that, one of those teams favored to beat Arlington, along with the Sooners, Oklahoma State's on the road first on a Friday night at 7 o'clock, as Okie State will play South Alabama on ESPN2. I'm going to go with Okie State. The 11 a.m. kickoffs on Saturday. Charlotte will be at Kansas State on Fox Sports Net. I'm going to go with the Wildcats of Kansas State. East Carolina will be at West Virginia on FS2. I'm going to go with the Mountain Men of West Virginia. And ESPN2 will have the Battle of Iowa at 11. Iowa at Iowa State. I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes. So you get done with the breakfast, then you get on the grill for some lunch, right? Well, the lunch feast is on in Austin, as San Jose State will be at Texas on the Longhorn Network, as Texas tries to bounce back from that loss to Maryland, and I think they will against San Jose State. The other game at 2:30 in the Big 12, TCU at Arkansas on CBS. I'm going to go with the Razorbacks. 3 o'clock, Central Michigan will be at Kansas on Fox Sports Net. I'm going to go with the Central Michigan. They beat Oklahoma State last year. Good, solid team. And Kansas just cannot match with Oklahoma State. They're better. Two other games, 6:30, the game I will be at between Oklahoma and the Ohio State University on ABC. So I don't pick that one. The game I will pick, however, final game I will pick, 7 o'clock, Texas San Antonio at Baylor, as Baylor tries to bounce back after their first loss of the season on Fox Sports Net. I'm going to go with Baylor. That's the Big 12 picture. The national picture looks like this. On the Thursday game this week is on the Stadium Network, and it will be Idaho State at Utah State at 7 o'clock on Thursday. I'm going to go with Utah State. The Friday games, the Friday game includes a game of Ohio at Purdue on Fox Sports Numero Uno. I'm going to go with Purdue. The Boilermakers, the train will be rolling. All right, the national picture for breakfast. Your omelets for the full Saturdays, for the rest of the Saturday slate, will start on the Big Ten Network. Florida International at Wisconsin. The Badgers. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. ABC will have Cincinnati at Michigan. I'm going to go with the Wolverines in the Big House. ESPN will have, this one's interesting, Louisville at North Carolina in the ACC on ESPN. I'm going to go with the Louisville Cardinal. Also in the ACC network conference, Duke as they host Northwestern. Northwestern at Duke on ESPNU. I'm going to go with the Dukies. CBS Sports Network will have Buffalo at Army. I'm going to go with the Knights of Army. Big Ten Network, Townsend at Maryland on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with Maryland. The SEC Network, the Battle for Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky against our old buddy Mark Stoops in Kentucky on the SEC Network. I'm going to go with Kentucky. Final game in the morning, early morning slate, UT Martin at Ole Miss on the SEC Network. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. All right, well, we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of one more piece to your breakfast for the 11 a.m. morning kicks, including Jacksonville State at Georgia Tech on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech. The lunch part of the day includes a noon game between Wake Forest at BC on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Boston College. At 1 o'clock, it includes the Texas State at Colorado on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with UC, University of Colorado. And 2 p.m., Alabama Birmingham will be at Ball State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Ball State. What about the normal lunch crew? At 2:30, a bunkload of these games, including ESPN2 will have Fresno State at Alabama on ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Tide. Pittsburgh at Penn State on ABC. I'm going to go with State. ESPNU will have Miami of Florida at Arkansas State. I'm going to go with Miami of Florida. The ACC Network will have Delaware at Virginia Tech. I'm going to go with Hokies. Hokie high. CBS Sports Network, the awkward offense of Navy, will host Tulane. Tulane at Navy. I'm going to go with Virginia Tech. With Navy, I'm sorry. Nova will be at Temple on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Temple. Savannah State will be at Appalachian State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Appalachian State. Austin P will be at the other Miami of Ohio on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Miami of Ohio. Also on ESPN3, Eastern Illinois will be at Northern Illinois. I'm going to go with Northern Illinois. Howard will be at Kent State on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Kent State. Indiana will be at Virginia on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Virginia. Also part of the ACC Network, Middle Tennessee will be at Syracuse. I'm going to go with Syracuse. 2 Big Ten Network games finally in the 2:30 slot. That includes Western Michigan at Michigan State, the battle for Michigan. I'm going to go with the Spartans. And finally, Eastern Michigan will be at Rutgers on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with Rutgers. The 3 o'clock games, that's on the SEC Network. They will continue. Indiana State will be at the University of Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee. Also on the SEC Network, Alabama A&M will be at Vandy. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. And on the AT&T Network, Gardner Webb will be at Wyoming. I'm going to go with Wyoming. And finally, right here in the great state of Oklahoma, there's only one college football game to be played here in our great state, and that will be Tulsa trying to bounce back against Louisiana Tech. I'm going to take Tulsa. 3:30 on Fox. Nebraska takes that option game to Oregon in Eugene on Fox. I'm going to go with Oregon. 4 o'clock, Hawaii will be at UCLA on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with UCLA. Also in Weber State will be at Cal Berkeley on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to go with Berkeley. 5 o'clock, Marshall will be at North Carolina State on the ACC Network. I'm going to go with NC State. New Hampshire will be at Georgia Southern on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Georgia Southern. Alabama State will be at Troy on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Troy. And South Dakota will be at Bowling Green on ESPN3. I'm going to go with Bowling Green. The 5:30 games, Arkansas Pine Bluff will be at Akron on the ESPN3. I'm going to go with Akron. 6 o'clock games, Louisiana Monroe at Florida State on the ACC network. I'm going to go with Florida State. Auburn and Clemson. Auburn at Clemson on ESPN. I'm going to go with Clemson. Also, Toledo at Nevada on ESPN3 is at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go with Toledo. UNLV at Idaho, ESPN3. I'm going to go with UNLV. Our old buddy Seth Luttrell from Oklahoma at North Texas. He's going to be at SMU on ESPN3. I'm going to go with SMU. South Carolina at Missouri on ESPN2. I'm going to go with the Tigers. And finally, Nicholls State at Texas A&M on ESPNU. I'm going to go with the Aggies. 6:30, Genesee Chattanooga will be at LSU on the SEC network. I'm going to go with the Tigers. NBC will have Georgia at Notre Dame. I'm going to go with Georgia. SEC network will have Northern Colorado at the University of Florida. I think Florida bounces back. Mississippi State at Louisiana Tech. I'm going to go with Mississippi State on CBS Sports Network. And Alcorn will be at Florida International on the BN Sports Network. I'm going to go with FIU. The dinner picks, late picks, 7 o'clock picks. Montana will be at Washington on the Pac-12 network. I'm going to go with Washington. The Battle of New Mexico will be on the Stadium network. New Mexico State at New Mexico. I'm going to go with New Mexico. ESPN News will have Memphis at Central Florida, UCF. I'm going to go with Central Florida. And Big Ten Network is going to have Western Kentucky at Illinois on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to go with Illinois. The 7:30 primetime game on Fox, Stanford at USC on Fox. I'm going to go with Stanford. They've always given USC problems, particularly. Watch out for David Shaw and those guys to get that done. At 9 o'clock, Fox Sports 1 reports in that Minnesota will be at Oregon State. I'm going to go with Oregon State. 9:15, ESPNU drops the game. Utah at BYU, the battle for Utah. I'm going to go with the University of Utah. 9:30 p.m., ESPN and ESPNU both drop games. Boise State at Washington State on ESPN. I'm going to go with Washington State. And Houston at Arizona on ESPNU. I'm going to go with Arizona. The final game of the night will be at 10 o'clock, at least on TV, will be at 10 o'clock, between San Diego State at Arizona State on the Pac-12 network. And I'm going to go with Arizona State. All right, guys, as I always say, don't take these picks to Vegas. I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising you that you guys are going to make money. All right, guys, you can find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor. Tweet me at Sooner_fan_OK. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next weekend. And as always, Boomer Sooner. Thanks for watching College Football Picks.